Hello Blender folks, welcome back. I'm Pxy-STREAM and this is a live stream about rigging, organic rigging in Blender. And we are continuing with some experimental or partially experimental because it already works. We are making, I'm gonna continue the pelvis rig, but right now I am attempting to solve some little details that were going wrong on my rig that were disrupted. The more simple stuff, but also challenging depending on many factors, which is the simple joints like elbows and knees, ankles, even wrists. So here I was testing. I had this simple joints, bendy bone splines here, you see, and then I decided to make a fan bone, a simple oriental fan bone technique. So this is a deformed bone that derotates. So I was using this for the thigh, which is a complex joint like the shoulder, but then first time I'm trying to do this. Yeah, there's reference online on this particular technique, which is the easier one, so this is good. And then I've decided to combine both, and it sort of worked, like at least for the elbow joint it was good, so I intend to maintain it. So we have good deforms here by combining these two solutions, but really either one or the other. For example, if I turn this off, of course it has to do with the wave painting, right? You see it still works quite well, but if I turn both them off, it starts to get not too bad, but yeah, there's lots of more interpretations here. Also the rest position is this, so there's already some bending of the arm, so this favors slightly and I was having a huge problem with the positioning of the elbow, the bones, right? They were getting crazy, and then I found out that the reason is the same reason why I was having crazy twisting of the thigh and maybe the shin, but especially, yeah. And so this was happening because my alternative rig, the deformed bones, which are splitted from the mechanism chain which contains the I-key bone constraint, you see it's here for the arm. Okay, so because it was splitted, and the way I've done the rig, this actually needs to mimic, at least to start with, this rotation. But how would it do that? Well, the solution was just, right now I think I don't have for this bone, or do I have? If I don't, I should do, yeah, probably do, but then I did for the okay, I didn't do this, so I don't know how it is not going crazy, but anyways, it should be a bit rotated, tilted, but anyways, here I solved that by using this copy rotation bone constraint prior to the anything else. So this will copy rotations from all rotation from the mechanism, right, which is here, so they don't start in the same condition. So the idea is that this will place it exactly there at the same time that it stretches to the, well, it stretches to something else. It stretches some control knee here, which is not to manually control, but we can, especially now that I have a system that can pin joints from, it's this one. So so for example, yeah, I can move that, but I can also move from this whenever I get, for example, this bone constraint. So yeah, there's some displacement there. So now it is pinned, and even from the shoulder, and I can move from this. This will be like an empty object, but it's a bone. So like I can do this stuff. Of course I can, then of course if I need to gradually, I need to do this ways, right? So, but I can't, with this rig I have pinning already, but only from the, yeah, so I did all this thing to just have pinning for the hand in relation to the to elbow, but I couldn't have it in relation to this. So wait, how can I solve that? Then I started to create some bone constraints here, and occasionally that thing sort of was successful. I need to try an animation, but how this will adapt, right? If it will work well in animation, but this is neat, and it's very easy to set, but it only it needs two chains, separated splitted chains of the deform and the I-key chain, and so I still require to check if it is accurate enough in all sense because of new finding. Okay, so now I was attempting here, so the simple joints, and right now I was struggling with the simple joint of the knee, which is a bit more complicated to use the same exactly technique, because here I've decided that the bending would be that, and it's really bizarre when we have this starting position for a bendy bone that has to derotate the bendy bone itself with its handles. Then it's very weird what happens. I probably can show you that, but I'm trying to solve it, so I'll show you. Yeah, and this is not so easy to solve right now because the bending here, it's too much. If it was straight, here it was easier to solve, right? Not too much bending. This will be about 120 degrees, right? Rotate difference, and here it's much less. This is nearly 30, nearly 45 degrees. Yeah, maybe 45 degrees. No, this is 60 degrees actually. Yeah, so that's start to get difficult for particularly this bone. Otherwise, the deforms are, without it, shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, this requires corrections, because now with this position, it's much easier to solve the artifacts on this bending. But when the leg stretches, then we have to solve things on the front. So it's arguable what is better. In principle, I assume it's easier to solve what is in front, but in practice it's not that simple, because this area, it gets sort of collapsed. We don't have too much access, so that's why I thought it might be an open field, easier to solve from that, but it's not exactly like that. The deforms are too weird here, and I want to economize in terms of bone constraint. So if I turn this on, you'll see what will happen. Currently I only have this, and I think my waves and the mesh topology is horrible, so this is why. So without this, this will be the natural deforms, and so you see here it's nearly as perfect, but here I could make some, yeah, I'm planning making some automation for the muscles, the fat muscles, skinning for the, yeah, it could be interesting. That I've seen some idea, very old idea from Blender forum. There's a thread that uses some, some sort of scaling bones for a very interesting concept. I knew it, but wasn't clear for me exactly how it would be used. So here you see, as the legs get straight, it gets very bad. Of course, with a derotator we solve that by a lot. So however, if I were to use this one, because this bendy bone is derotating, we don't see very well, but there is some crazy thing here. It's like a nail. This is you see what's happening there? So this derotation, I suspect there is a way to solve this with the bendy bones, some things here. Yes, so let's make, here is on pose mode. This is confusing, so we'll try to see if we can. Usually we want to solve here on edit mode because these are posable, right? So this is, yeah, so in principle, if we augment this value on edit mode, yeah, when I reset it becomes 1, but it's 0. So if I augment this on the out and I reduce the in, no? Okay, never mind. This doesn't seem to help. Maybe here I need to, and there's some crazy warping there that is probably risky, so maybe we don't want that. So let's zero this out. This is just for test. So apparently if I reduce here, there's something that seems more effective, which is this, the scales are for other, they aren't that useful here. Maybe Y scaling, I'm not sure. Maybe this can be useful. Yeah, I never used the scaling here of the bendy bones. It's actually interesting what it can, at least it looks funny, but no, I'm not using this anyways. Here, the Z, this seems to be more effective, but so negative here is bad, and positive also. Well, positive is sort of try to push this mesh apart so it doesn't get this nailing thing, right? So this could be interesting. So something about 0.5 maybe, not on pose mode, of course. And then if we combine this with this one, and then we can drive those things, right? But this is very, I did it for the neck, but it's really, it's a bit complicated, right? It's easy, but it's annoying, right? It's too much work, while there are solutions, other solutions that might do better. So here we could get 0.6. Maybe that's a, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna reset here and see from the rest position. So it's 0.6 here. You see how the bendy bone gets, but that's fine. These bones, they are matching the, right? This one is, it's parented to the, right? So I'm aligning, I'm trying to separate that, maybe it's better. Then here I have a slight problem. Let's snap this, let's take off this proportional posing, let's try to snap here, and I don't want to see that. Let's snap that here, and I don't know, also the mesh topology, the mesh, both mesh geometry and mesh topology isn't looking very well, so I have to reassess. Let's see if those changed. Yeah, of course we need to reset here, and then because there are too many bone constraints here, we need to unfortunately, yeah, do this manually. So yeah, so we see that it doesn't really helped, but if it made it worse, then I can automate this, yeah, but it's not. You start to combine a lot of things just to have the helper bone becomes an unhelping bone in the end. So this is a risk we have with bendy bone spline sometimes as a corrective methods. Sometimes for them to work well, we need to do way more than we would need to if we were using a better method. So here, apparently this is zeroing out from the perspective, of course. This is like here I'm changing the root stuff, right? So this is already from local space. This is local coordinates. So this is for pose mode. So this is already a lot of stuff here. So what does it tell me? Oh, this is the wrong one, by the way. Yeah, but it changed both ways, so yeah, I was looking at the wrong one. So here, let's it was bad anyway, so let's just, yeah, we reset then. And why do I need yeah, it would be strange if I were not to try to match. The way to be sure would be to disable the bone constraints which are causing this, and right now I'm not sure what it is. And it will be maybe something from, yeah, because this relates to the thigh, right? So let's see. No. Oh, I didn't. Okay. And let's reset, and of course something, yeah, something here. Let's try reset. Okay, so that will be the correct way of resetting. So you see that this value, when you reset, the bone tries to reach there. So the numerical value is accurate. So as it approaches there, it's indeed closer to the reset value. So I just need to enable this stuff, and also this stuff, the stretched one, probably that. Yeah. So if there's anything here that is, yeah, this one is, I was trying to see, yeah, this I'm experimenting, so I'm not bothering. So here, as we can see, it still happens. Sorry folks, and hold on a second please. A little more. I'm getting some water. We'll soon go into the continuation of the experiment, but I stopped to do that, and I thought it would be interesting to show a little of this this other implementation. So ideally I would prefer not to handle this thing. So I have always the possibility to just ignore and not use this bendy bone for that simple joint, but because I'm already using on the elbow and the shoulder and whatever, I really want to make it work, but it's challenging. So if I turn this on, yes, this can help. But the problem is that by doing that, we don't, perhaps it fixes a lot of stuff that makes it harder to know what this one is doing, right? So maybe there's no solution for that to work because of the start condition, or maybe I shouldn't stretch the bones as I did here. Yeah, maybe I should get them very close, so the bending should be the same, but maybe there's something about the distance that helps. So let's try to let's verify this hypothesis. So I'll start with something that has no transforms here, no change. Here they are probably all the same. I'm gonna, yeah, these are reset. I'll reset. Alright, so maybe here I can also mount this, because why not? And segments, let's keep it 5, no, 6. Alright, so as I go back, it will be really better if I just check the bones that are relevant here. So these, the wave painting, this, and probably, yeah, the control, the foot, and here, there you go. So this should be all we need for now. An animation here would be nice, right? So that we can have a starting animation here. Let's see. Yes. Then we do here. Yeah, this will be a good and let's do that. Yeah. Alright, so then we can approximate here, approximate these keyframes, change this. Alright, so we don't save this anymore, so let's reduce the size of this and let's investigate. Okay, so to start with, same thing, we need to reset, but it doesn't reset very well, so we're gonna do, I don't want to be resetting the, it's, in this case it's particularly annoying to, it's confusing, maybe I end up breaking something, so I'll just try to get as close, that's the next tire, so let it be that. So this is approximate, this is good enough. So yeah, this but this is not for this. This is a non-deformed bone, and this is being a deformed bone indeed. So yeah, so in a great deal, something I haven't thought about is that, of course, this bone is not necessarily that it is the cause of bad things, is because the thing I have already is deforming the mesh a lot. So actually this is trying to solve something that is already pretty bad, right? And maybe the inverse would be better for the leg, and maybe I shouldn't have this kind of bending. So this is something to be experimented another time. What is better? Let me note this, because this is an interesting thing to test. It's not too hard, but if I do that now, probably I'll break my progress. So let's try something like yeah, this is a completely different topic. So this is knee rest position, no, knee joint rest position, straight leg with bendy bone spline. Yeah, that would be an interesting thing to check if it makes better results or not. And now so maybe I need to see the best I can achieve with but anyways, there's still something I need to check here, which is because this as a deformed bone, if it's yeah, so it would solve plenty of those artifact stuff there, and so it will improve the bendy bone, right? So also, because then the bendy bone doesn't have too much work to do in terms of, so it's actually good to be shifting this and see what we can do. The derotation of this seems to be a lot, so, but I found out that for this case it seems to be valuable to have a very large derotation. So weird, but that's okay. I never seen so any requirement to be that much, but it might have to do with everything that is going on this particular rig. Maybe it relates with this 60-degree thing. Yeah, so the more they are bent, the more the derotation needs to be on the opposite side. And in this case of the thigh and hips and the thigh and spine, the angle is 120, just like nearly like that. So it's a very large angle. It just needs about a little more to reach 135. I don't know why that value. While here, in order to reach 135, would need nearly 70 degrees. Yeah, if that, I don't know, but yeah, it does seem to relate to the angle of the rest position between the two deformed bones, which are blending waves and causing the major artifacts due to deformed bone rotation. So yeah, so this might be natural required, and this amount of derotation also contributes, or maybe is not required, but it doesn't kill this particular pose, so it's fine. And so here, so I turn this off, we still have problems. We wouldn't need that bendy bone, right? Yeah, you could really simplify and avoid all these bendy bone splines, but we are going to see how far we can get with that. Alright, so what needs to be done here? What are the possibilities? Okay, I was considering the distancing, and there is wave painting, of course, and there is the mesh. Okay, so maybe I need to do something about that mesh. Yeah, this is a horrible mesh topology. That wouldn't be a work for now, folks. This will take too much time, and I had a decent mesh topology here, I think, but I just, for some reason, I ended up undoing it, I think, making something much more regular but uninteresting for the deforms. Yeah, maybe I had the idea that that's not so much important because I'm using now different rig setups that won't require good mesh topology. Of course that was wrong. So we have a face loop here and then a face loop here, but then this is just odd, right? We don't have something circular around the joint, right, around the knee, so this is kind of stupid. Usually we want to have this kind of stuff, so it's hard for me to understand what has driven me to unmake that progress. Maybe, yeah, never mind. So okay, so I'm not gonna touch the mesh topology. I'll bring that back in the future myself. It's not a, but at least we try to adjust some of the mesh itself, the geometry, some regularity. Then there's not too much to do besides, I think, with these things. We have the rest position, and with that we have perhaps, yeah, here we don't see the deforms, but we can check if this could help. So positive value, no, a negative value, yeah, it glitches, so this doesn't seem to be effective. It's, and here the out also glitching too much. So here we still have this possibility, the z, because the z-axis pointing forwards. There would be this automation, so that would be like, oh, we can also do this, but those would be like, yeah, so this is something that is also dangerous to, you see that. Okay, so this kind of rotation could help. So they derotate the mesh, right? So what I need to do here is test these ones, because it's the same thing except that it's inbuilt. So yeah, I can drive these values, but I'd rather give some rotations from bone constraints instead, directly on the, right? So yeah, it's like augment and a positive value on those things. So on edit mode, unfortunately I didn't see how much it would be. Here we don't have a clear vision, so I'm putting 0.1, and we see that this is bending. The values don't appear here. Let's see how much we need to add. Maybe 0.09 on one, and on the other something like 0.0 1, something like that. Okay, so we reset that, and we go back here. Yes, of course we need to see if this doesn't ruin some pose here, and maybe it makes that part worse. Let's see, we can undo some. Yeah, no, nothing seems to be. If we augment, yeah, there's little that augmentation of these things seems to be doing. So in exchange for some stuff here, so 0. This will do. So if I sum here 0.09, and if I sum here like 0.01, that will be that. So here that's the one of the results, and then here it's nearly fine. We kind of solved the thing without requiring drivers or bone constraints. Basically this means that the bone has the bendy bone has a root condition of more rotation, right? More bending on certain orientations and directions according to the head and tail reference of the bendy bone. So curve in, curve out, right? So, and then what we can still do here, yeah, no, nothing like that. No, yeah, really this is dangerous. And so does this change anything? Absolute tangent? No, it's always. Wait, that changed something? Why? It's the first time I see a difference. Okay, what is better? I'm leaving absolute. I've been whatever. I really don't know. Never seen that distinction. And now that we have this, okay, it's still it's activated. So. And it's not good enough, but let's see if we can. Okay, we can add a little more here, 0.05, and here we can add. No, we don't do nothing here. Maybe we even take off. No. So just add more or reduce. No, just give 0.02 maybe, just as very minimal. Alright, and then we can see if the rotation can it be different now. No, it's basically the same. So I could, since I'm not gonna touch the mesh topology, I can still try to work on the wave painting. And it's very bad to work on this wave painting with a bad mesh topology. It's not a bad mesh topology, it's just insufficient, it's just mediocre. So Yeah, this is probably bad. Yeah, the heavy waves here below doesn't seem very smart, but actually if we are trying to blend waves, maybe we need this kind of stuff to be, yeah, they share strong waves on the critical thing, right? So maybe this is the right thing to do, and then the corrective bones, they will do that's like the knee will reach towards that, the bony part of the knee that sticks out would be red for both. We of course need to blur this out. This is dangerous, you see already. And what about this? No, this is bad. So yeah, so I can try to dangerously blur there, and perhaps this I just blur out, yeah, for both sides, so that let's save. And okay, I think I've reached all around, so let's go here. So first same thing for this, let's blur this intermediate, then this did I, yeah, same thing here. Oh, there's a vertex there, okay. Alright, so apparently wave painting was one of the issues, so not the mesh topology sure was is creating difficulties, but it is still feasible with these adjustments. Of course, we can also improve the wave paint for these bones. So here, I don't know exactly if I should do this. Probably not. It doesn't seem to be too dangerous right now. This seems to be relevant. Here maybe should it get, yeah, we can blur this just as we did. Try to have a lot of blurring here. We try to blur that thing, so let's try to make it more symmetrical on relation to the thigh shin. And here there is the only part in red will be in the middle, crossing exactly in the middle, just one line of vertices. And here we just try to blur until that vertex here, and that's it. Then let's reinforce, just making sure we reinforce the reds, deep reds there. Something like that. Okay, so that seems to not be too bad. And then for this one, how do I duplicate a wave? I could use the same, right? Good idea. So I failed, always forget how to do that. So there's a vertex group called def leg knee fan. Okay, so I say duplicate that, and this is an empty. Then I need to, let's say, copy, duplicate vertex group, make a copy of the, that's it. Oh, copy vertex group to selected. What is selected? Okay, so if I get this bone, which has a vertex group, and I get this vertex group, that means that I'll copy this to the selected, copy vertex group to replace vertex group of selected objects by vertex group of active object. No, this can't be good. So I'm not sure right now. So the active, I think it will be that. So the active being this, and then, alright, let's try this. Copy vertex group to selected 0, don't fail. Object data must support vertex groups and have matching indices. Maybe it needs objects and not bones, right? So that's it. So, well, at least I can do this. Duplicate vertex group. And then I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna just delete these two. And I'm gonna copy get this bone here. It has some wrong naming. Let's rename those things. So these are older naming that I was doing. It was not bad, but it was too confusing, and I'm making into something also confusing. So Shift B. By the way, there's a thing that I've just learned. Someone taught me that in a channel, Discord channel of Blender. So there is a select thing, select mirror. I didn't know about that. Shift Control M by default, and there no. Okay, but then we need to select extend, and so now every time Shift M, it will, so there we go, select the invert additionally. So now we need to get to bones. There are a lot of things I want to replace here, so I want to strip characters, yes, digits and punctuations, yes. Then I want also to change, knee, let's change to leg knee, and if there is, it says B-bone handle end, let's change it to nothing, and if there is B-bone handle start, which exists, let's change it to nothing, and if there is some B-bone, let's change it to nothing, and that should do, if not everything. Okay, so there is this thing that, okay, so I have to, sometimes fixing manuals really is better, so I'm gonna copy this, then this will be 2, so start and end will be like that. And unfortunately here I had to mess up with that, but we didn't lose the bones are still there, so it's easy. Def legs, okay, so this one instead of legs 3, yeah, what things wrong. So here, oh, shift, okay, so Control F2, okay, we turn all that, we make not that, we are gonna add a new condition, find replace, so it's just instead of legs 3 it will be leg. Oh, it still has extra legs, so instead of leg just leg. There we go. Instead of leg, really I should give a number, so when we organize the vertex groups they are named, so just a number and not a number plus the name to make it too long, right? So it could start with the head, which will be 1, then the torso, which will be 2, arms 3, legs 4, stuff like that, right? This was already had numbers, but alright, so slowly we are getting this to, what did I do last? Okay, I was renaming, okay, this won't do. This is the wrong leg. We need to symmetrize, so the results might not be the same on both sides. Oh, it's not a... What's happening? Why nothing changes here is as it's... Oh, the vertex groups, of course. I didn't finish... Sorry folks, didn't finish the process of vertex. This is what I was doing. I was distracted. So here I need this bone. I'll take this. Then we go on vertex groups. I don't need that, or maybe I need that. Okay, so there's the copy, just paste here, and let's make, yeah, actually there's still something wrong with this, so it's instead of knee that, it will be knee. There we go. Now it's correct, but that doesn't change anything important, it's just naming. Then yeah, let's make the automation for this. Yeah, should be these ones. Symmetrized. Do they contain wave painting? I think it doesn't. Yeah, so just click out, there we go. What about this? No, it's the wrong bone. Here, no, it is there. Alright, so why this leg is so bad in this pose? Maybe because both are bad on the original pose. This is hard to... No, they are different. So this could be something about that I need to symmetrize everything here. Yeah, maybe some... Yeah, now they are equal. I hope. If it's not a problem. Eventually that will be solved. So here is there anything else that I can do here? This is bad. So if I approach, okay, so there is something that, okay, let's try this. No. We can imagine how these bendy bones corrective, they can be helpful in certain poses for stylized characters. So this is why I'm also curious here. Maybe there's some interesting that we can play with, but in principle, yeah, the problem is that this, because it's a bendy bone, so this wave paint is maybe not good. We want, and I know why, because the bendy bone is not the same thing as the fan bone. The fan bone is a more analytic technique. So this means that having the waves of them equal is not smart. It's like I'm taking off a lot of power from the analytic deformed bone, and this is something I've been saying over and over again as on the pelvis rig regarding fan bone or other apparently twist bones. Those that bendy bones can also have twist feature, but twist bones, regular bones that are used as if bendy bones or for the twist feature, they are some sort of fan bones in an analytic way, but they solve only the y-axis. They are fan bones for the y-axis, so the right, while the fan bones that I'm using, they are for the x and z axis, so the lateral orientations, right? Not the front back aligned with the bone, the y-axis. So they are analytical, so they are all very precise, but they focus on different axes. And of course, at least for me, the fan bones in particular, they look much more interesting, because the artifacts that I struggle with are not so much the ones of the twisting for the rigs I do. And since I use a lot of bendy bones, if I need twisting, I just solve that, try to solve it with bendy bones which I already have, so, or can have. So here I'm even gonna take off these huge waves here. So what does that mean? What does that mean is that I'll have less influence from more influence from Shift X here, more influence from the the fan bone, and less influence from the bendy bone spline, which is also corrective but doesn't have the same function. Its function, it's maybe more something like smoothness of the bending, and therefore it might be interesting just to take off some of its waves. So here I don't know if I should mount some waves there. So here I just don't, I'm just not sure what will be better, but let's that's already better than what I have had right before. Let's see if I play with this, if I take off more waves from, so let's take less than this on this, and let's see if this helps the mesh to get a better shape on certain regions. And then we can also play and see if this perhaps can no, this doesn't seem to, the rotation is still have the same problems. So here, and what about this? Yeah, this seems to be good. This is perhaps too much, but we see that maybe it's a good idea to have lower waves on this. I don't know why here it seems to be better. Maybe here we can have more on that part. Not sure. This is a bit brutal because this is but I'm intrigued about that part, because if it happened that what happened to my screen? Oh, control space, yeah. Because if it happened that for some reason more waves on the back where it bends, it's better. Well, no, it wasn't better. That would be very interesting to, for whatever reason. That will be interesting, an interesting approach, but apparently it was not the case, so we just take that off again, and I'll keep with that amount here. Yeah, that amount seems good. So what about here? Doesn't seem to hurt. And what about, yeah, here maybe it's too far, but also doesn't seem to hurt. So again, just blur that part. And yeah, that part, yeah. And here maybe so the bendy bone with spline skinning, right? So this would help in, oh, actually this is they are different. Okay, so I'll keep that. So apparently this is going a bit too far, so just for some regularity we don't want this, and this will be the last line there, and we just smooth this out. So this matches this one. It's just that the distribution of the loops, the edge loops, weren't that good. So here it looks like that by combining this craziness and with all that, we were able to, even with that bad mesh topology, we were able to get something adequate there. And so if we check here the condition, now just some out of curiosity to show, I need some, yeah, I don't have twisting feature here, I should implement that. Since I was talking about it, it's required. But here, if we are to consider what's happening to the type, so you see it's aligned, so that is good. But if I need to rotate on some crazy orientation, yeah, there's some limit for some reason, but I still can work on that. Let's check here. So maybe this is not good. Copy rotation. There are some conflicts, so this is not very good input. However, this one of the reference, it's not replaced, it's before original, so this copies from the beginning this orientation, and so it gets aligned, and so I stop having this crazy twisting of the, so it follows the IQ, which is the main poser, but I can still okay, so if I turn this off, why it doesn't, it should be different. Okay, here we see, so there are some, so it's just the one neck type reference, and for some reason that I'm not sure why, maybe it has to do with the align, because this has this parent there, it is aligned to it to the type already from this pole, so it will follow by parenting. It's a parenting offset, so it will follow the rotation of, so this is why because the mechanisms are already aligned regarding the y-axis, so this one, the sheen doesn't need that to start with, because it's following by parenting the rotation that the depth type bone got. So this is interesting. So I was trying to make the same approach, but it was, instead of helping, it was making it worse. So it's like a double copy rotation, so it's stupid. So that's why this is unrequired. So this is now I finally understood that. So now, folks, that I finally got this, so this will be the joints, simple joints, whatever. We can go back to the main topic of this stream. So sorry about the confusion, but here I needed also to take a break from that. Things we were going very far. We are nearly clearing this out, actually, provide there is not a very ugly surprise, and there probably will be as we get to, I think I've got something wrong there. Yeah, definitely something. Oh yeah, of course, no panic, folks. This is just a stacking of actions. So Shift G, by color, and turn off the turn all that off, so they stop double stacking. Apparently there's still something. Okay, apparently I forgot something. What's happening there? Yeah, I need to figure out something still. Oh, of course, it's the opposite side. Alright, so alright, so I need to it's here, no, it's here and here, and I guess here. No, this one doesn't have action, so it's just about these two helping systems. Shift G by color, and then turn on, turn off. There, well, apparently it didn't solve things. Could it be something I did to the rig in the process? There's something. Everything is moving. Like if there were some okay, I need to, so I was working on the inner banding here. This is happening on the side banding. It's happening on the front banding for the left side. Maybe it's just a symmetry problem. So no, still this is really odd. Copy rotation. No, this is. Oh, there's still. Okay. That wasn't enough to. Something survived. One, two, three, and four. Okay, that's what there is. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so it still happens. So, oh yeah, maybe no. They took yeah, okay, so they took a pose from before. So this is why it looks like it was saved. This is bad. So stacking the actions, how is it? No, it's not the actions. Okay, definitely it was saved. So is it possible that Sorry folks, I'm trying to figure out what's going wrong here. Apparently the keyframes got saved with double stacks. And this is why even the I don't know how to solve this now. So maybe I have a backup of the action. Best thing would have a backup. I don't know how that happened. The bones that are in play here are the same, so I'm gonna save here because there are progress here. I'm gonna make a new X Y. Let's try to find this is another file. Here probably I was trying to make some NLA animation. Just showing here. Can be I am alone. How are you? Welcome, Greg. Sorry for I didn't see the chat. Need to do this. Okay, now it's pinned on top. Welcome. So possibly alone. Yes, they are at least watching. I mean, I don't know. Oh, you're here for. You were here about 30 minutes ago. So if you're still, sorry if I didn't see your message before, but yeah, maybe. Anyways, now I can see the chat. I forgot. Sorry, folks. So here, but welcome, everyone. Welcome again. So here, we I was trying to combine two animations, like with the camera motion, and I forgot that the camera motion, looking from here it's nice, but actually the deforms that the model is getting was horrible. Totally destroyed the model, and there are a lot of bad things in the animation if you look closely. But yeah, so the camera, it requires to be a single action, so it keeps. We don't need multiple actions for the camera actually. It's easier to work with a single one. So for some reason, it's very confusing to use that. But I'm learning that slowly. So, anyways, so here probably this is when I close the action. And so if I try to use this file, I'm still gonna check. So I reset this. Let's disable this and see. It could be that those were doing because I had this timeline here. So this is something I need to check. But anyways, let's see the action. Pelvis. Now, okay, so this is still happening. Since I am here, I'm going to try something that I have in mind. Delete this stuff here from the NLA editor. It shouldn't be conflicting with the action. It shouldn't, because they were disabled, but can never be sure with this system. Why I can't. Why now? Where is my NLA tracks? Okay, I'll reopen the file. I'm going to delete everything here, delete even the markers, and remove empty animation, yeah, turn this off, okay, and I've lost the, okay, so we've got here, let's reset that, and let's go back to the action here. Okay, so it still have, so something happened as I, and it's not the change of the rig that I've done, it's something about, okay, so I'm starting to get the idea. It's double stacking actions then, because to make the animation I had to enable the actions, actionable constraints. And so that means that as I get here, the actions, the actionable constraint, they are enabled. So I disable, and then alt this thing again. No, this doesn't count. Nor this. So okay, they have been disabled. Maybe there is one missing, but doesn't. Yeah, let's try to find it. Okay, so at this point I had even less actions to care about. Let's see. Yeah, I just had, oh, I didn't symmetrize at that point, but that's fine. Okay, so here is one that wasn't, it's the front for some reason. Alright, so I was starting to make them on both sides. Okay, then now that I've disabled, I'm going to the pelvis, and it's still happening. So it could, how it is possible that I saved those actions for each, I reposed everything. So if I enable that, you see that, split channel, this is using the wrong, no, this is the first pose. So why it will be using, no, because this is the front bending, which doesn't have a name. Oh, all those actions are using the I thought I had corrected that, but the fact is that they are disabled, so it makes no sense. It might have saved the data. Let's see a previous version. This one seems to be correct. So yes, okay, so I have a backup, so I really don't know what happened. Fortunately I have all this saved. So this is the V version, and I need to bring on this action. We even solved that one. Yes, that's it. For day 14 and V. Let me see how many of these. There's just one, just one, just one. So I wasn't wrong to consider that this thing is very dangerous. So many things can go wrong. So right now I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna delete this action. Yeah, totally delete. Then I'm going to sorry, I'm focusing. Yes, so there's a question there. So here it's here to make sure the actions are correct. They don't well, the new action will come not in that, it will be help 001, I guess. So let's append and let's get the v from the v file, then action and that one. Yes, so exactly as expected, and it is working. Yeah. The timing there seems to be some things incorrect. No, that's fine. So the bones maintain their, okay, so this I'm gonna put here. I'm gonna delete that because I don't know what, I don't want to have problem with that. So let's get, it will delete itself automatically, right? Yeah, but I can still make some mistake. So disabled, we have action 4. Okay, so some names here are incorrect. So this is front bending. I need to complete this, right? Does it save for all? Okay, let's Shift G color, Alt and Alt, enter. Yes, Blender is smart. And then there's the back bending and side out bending, right? This is what we're developing. So the front bending is 0 to 10 for each of the bones. The other is 20 to 30. They're all copy paste. So on the side bending 40, 50. So if we go on the action 40, 50, this is the side bending. Okay, folks, finally now we need an intermediate here. So we're gonna save this. Yes, I'm gonna, yeah, save here. Then I'm gonna save, yeah, that will be a backup, right? And we're gonna start on a Z, the last one of this alphabetic collection. Now we need to make this inner bending, and of course the bones that would be showing that they are not here, but the pose that I need is on 70 as I planned. So the channels are not showing because the bones are being invisible, so that's okay. Actually it's not even the layer that I need to use, it's there. Okay, now they show. Alright, so this will be a simple one, it should be, at least, because there's not too much things to do here. Pose is nearly fine, but we can refine this very slightly. Yeah, here is like the ideal rigging condition where whatever we do is fine without, yeah, there are artifacts, but they are not being very, they're not doing their job very well, the artifacts in this particular pose, so it seems. So we can totally have more space to play with this pose here. So yeah, then there's just the crotch that we can perhaps, and that would be it, right? Do we need to do anything else? Let's just compare. We could perhaps stick this out. So sounds contradictory, but it can actually generate an interesting result. And so the crotch, even though it has an automation for this particular pose, I've decided to pose it manually. So yeah, there's some the crotch area will be the last thing I need to investigate. Maybe I've tried already to make better mesh topology there, but to no avail. It still holds many problems. So here that will be like okay, that looks good enough for me. We are going to the big problem now. So here we're going to find out if those automations, they will conflict between themselves or not. And this will be even difficult to find out, because we'll have to have good visual memory, or maybe I can use with a viewport I can make some drawing, right, of the pose and then compare, but it's a bit annoying to do. And so here for this particular pose, so we're not getting any input for here, we're gonna do output. The problem is that there will be need to be the action bone constraints need input. Actually the action bone constraint is already will be already creating deforms as I rotate the leg like that, the foot, as I pose the foot like that. because the action bone constraints is telling, for example, on the front bending, that the x, when the x rotation is something positive, will find these things here, and so it will deform the mesh correctively according to this pose, or something close to this pose, because that pose is something close to what I've just, to the front bending. Same for the back bend, in this case the side bending, which we already did. It will find the 40 and 50. So this animation, this position, the 50 at maximum, when the type is z-axis. There's something even more difficult, but that I already solved. This is why the values there are 135 and negative 35. That works. Is that this is not aligned with the right, so this is the 0 degrees of rotation of the type, so it's not a T-pose, but that that is not a problem, because when I did the action bone constraint, I've already calculated the correct angles for the limitations, unless for the side bending. Oh, maybe I didn't calculate properly for the side bending. There would be another solution, but it would be if I had a bone here, a mapper bone for the rotations of the type, that would be an analysis of this, but from a perspective from here. This won't solve the problem, however, of the splitting of the x and z axis. This is why it's like, but it would simplify anything if that becomes a problem, this diagonal thing in regarding to the original axis. There are two problems here. The major problem that I'm trying to solve is not this. This one I assume I've already solved. So maybe the action bone constraints that I did for the side bending, you see this value is not the, is a value that is for the x, so I forgot to calculate. So a positive, we can check here, probably the positive z, no, here I should be rotating on the this is strange rotations. Okay, so this is the x-axis, doesn't matter. And yes, this maximum is about and that one is about that value, 135, negative 135. Coincidentally, they are in the middle. No, not exactly this, because this pose is exactly on the middle between the amount of, so this is why it is distributed evenly. But for the side bending, I don't remember very well. So that will be 45, 135, okay. That will be, no, this is not, no, this is incorrect. It's not 100 would be 35 would be here, so no, the side bend is not that much. So it's like, let's say it will be a 45, then we could spot by the z rotation. This is local, this is not the place to look at that. So if I have, yeah, the problem is here a lot of constraints, so it's annoying to check that, but we can nonetheless, yeah, we need to get out of the action. Then we need to stop saving keyframes here. We need to get the bone layer, bone manager. So it's something like, if I have, something like that. And then if I could, let's try to would that be the z-axis? Yeah, it looks like the z-axis is augmenting radically, so this will be (0.4). It's like 40% of 180 degrees. So half circle, that would be 0.5, so 90 degrees would be something like that, right? It will be like, and I want need a little more exaggeration just in case, it would be like, so 0.6 would be like 60% of 180. That is how to calculate that, so it's like 90 degrees, a bit more than 90 degrees, so whatever, 100 degrees maybe. So let's return here. And also I would need for the so let's pick all these action bone constraints here. For this bending out, we are going to give it alt like this. This should do. Then I cannot forget to symmetrize this stuff later on. Let's see the side bending, how much it was. It was not too much, so it's it should be fine. So maybe it's even more than, maybe I've made some error in the calculations. We need, of course, inner bending, and so it will be which we already did, right? This one. So it's the 60 to 70, so that will be like, I pick any bone here, like this one, I duplicate, so side in. Then I need to address a negative, well, let's give it the same here, because but on a negative. Oh, hold on. Range max, range min. Now I'm confused. No, I'm using max. This shouldn't be right. Maybe it is inversed. Maybe I did something wrong here, but we'll find out. I think this will work. So it's not like that in transformation bond constraint, but maybe this one is different. There's an inversion, right? So maybe that's correct, because we are, it's just the bone that is a negative rotation. The animation still is to be run properly, regularly. So okay, in bending, right, Z rotation, this is right, this is why I picked from this one and not from the x-axis stuff. And then 60, 70. And now that we have this, it's simple. We just have to Shift G color, then this is the active. We going to Control C. This is inbuilt add-on, free add-on of Blender copy attributes. Then copy selected constraints, only this one, and there we go. And then we can, yes, we can symmetrize everything. And we can yes, so before I run into this, yes, remember we're gonna test the effect of the deforms. So the way of doing that, so I need a sort of a camera just to make it safer, so I don't move the view. It will be a way to get it safer. So we try this. We hide some stuff here. Maybe no, I cannot hide the armature. Yeah, it's annoying. So okay, let it be this way. Then if I go back out of the action, no, I need to be on particularly that pose. I close the action, so I keep that pose. Here I can rotate the model on other directions, other views, and so here is where I'm going to activate the actions, but I need I want to be able to check on both sides, so we don't get surprises. I've already symmetrized, so we're just going to activate everything. It's not clear if all the actions were activated, so I'm gonna check. There seemed to be something that was failing, but this could be a naming error. So all actions are on, okay, on, no, this is the wrong one, on and on. Okay, so this time this seems to have run perfectly. So it was probably wrong names, they weren't matching, so it couldn't automate with Alt on both sides. Here I can activate everything at once. Okay, just by doing that. Now it is clear that Shift V, I can, all the actions. Here it's a combination of the Z and X axis. As we can see, there are improvements, but it's not enough. And so this is proof that to start with, we need at least for this model here, will require input, special input for this pose. And here there will be requirement of some additive action bound constraints, at least, yeah, that can be disruptive to previous work. So I don't know how to limit that, because I cannot, how will I tell Blender on this pose I want some adjustments here? Blender doesn't know what is this pose. It only knows that the type is rotated a certain amount on z-axis, a certain amount on x-axis. It doesn't know this pose. And so how to let it know that it's only for this. So some people discuss about a dot product of x and z, but I can't figure this out, and I'm not convinced that it will solve the problem. But the idea is like an inversion. So this could be perhaps developed as a driver, because drivers can do that through expressions and their values. The question is, do I need an extra action for that? Okay, I'm assuming extra action would be required. So I'll start with this one. It's a duplicate, but we're going to turn it off first of all. I need to do something different here. So there's this idea that we can use evaluation time to undrive this value. Instead of using the target, I still am using the action. The last one was 60-70, so this one should be the animation for, well, 80-90, yeah, so 60-70, 80-90. Okay, so this is the, I haven't created these poses, so this is not good. And the problem is that if I go on the, right now, if I went to the action, I would have this same, no, I wouldn't have this, because to go there means that I need to deactivate this, unless I do something risky, that I go back there. Yeah, this will be extremely risky, because this might be one of the reasons where everything went wrong. But I go there with the actions turned on. Then as I start to edit the bones, I try to know the position of the action bone constraints that are already running, plus the posings that I want for this. So it will be like posing these bones right now, like here, right? I need to bring these keyframes to there. Yeah, so maybe I think it is possible, because there's an action and it's the same, they are the same bone, so we can start from that, right? So let me first try to fix that pose. I'll make a quick fix, not a endless artwork here. Let's just see if we can get, yeah, certainly we solved everything else, so we certainly can also solve this pose without problems. This is hard, a very hard problem to solve. There are barely any complete explanation or tutorial about that. This is sort of an advanced rigging. Is a kind of thing that we only address when we are doing something very, very advanced already, and then we stumble with this stupid problem of excessive analytics of excessive analysis of how software works. And so this reminds me of a lecture on introduction to development for developers, for initiate people in development, right? Programming, right? And the teacher said something like, how smart are they? Not the students of programming, or the programmers, professional programmers, or whoever programs. Not them, the computer. How smart are they? So, and then he says that the job of the programmer is not to try to be as smart as a computer in order to code the thing. Is to be as numbingly stupid as a computer. So to explain to the computer what it needs to do. So mind-numbingly stupid. That was the expression. How they said, and that was very interesting. Yeah, it's how to say, it's like an allegory, right? And that's a joke too, and it's funny because yeah, I had very small experience in programming, but I had this insight. Yeah, it's like it's really like that. We need to explain stuff that we don't even think of because of so basic they are. But it's not because they are basic that they are they are easy to describe. But if we can describe them, then we can code that, we can explain stuff to the computer, and then this means we can we have the best condition to learn than coding, right? Through this understanding of how to talk to the computer, how to affirm things that the computer is able to read, because it's very stupid. And so in that sense, it doesn't read language or complex language. It cannot do that. It needs to start from scratch, from very, very analytic concepts, and without analytic concepts it can't do nothing. That's why. So this is an improvement from that pose. Yeah, there are still, I'm not really paying too much attention, but I should. Let's try to. I'm trying to see what is happening between the mesh. Oh, I see that. Okay, so that is it. So let's try to push this forward, right, folks? It is pushing the joint, so that's good. So there's no gap that will be forming there. So here we need to push this. I think. I'm assuming that's the right thing to do. And so we already have a lot of things done because of this particular pose, what the action bone constraints are already doing here, but we need to improve that thing, right, to adapt it to its this condition here. Looks like we got some shift is lagging, too much thing going on. The computer can't stand this amount of calculations too much, so let's try to just control the volume oddities here. because here the leg is spread to the side and to the front. I'm not gonna make exactly the same. Should it be like that or like that? I don't know, maybe. Maybe this could go even more to the side, right? And we can, yeah, perhaps pick everything here at once and see if we can have some rotational quality if we just try to X, Z. No, I'm not being able to. Okay, so Z, X. Yeah, probably I'm destroying the mesh, the model. Let's try from the view. Okay, this rotation I see, I'm rotating through the cursor, not always optimal. Here, let's do this a little more. Let's bring this closer. Yes. And the idea here would be to be able to copy paste on their global on their workspace these positionings. Use shift again. It goes crazy. It moves on its own nearly. Again shift, and I have the habit of using it, so it's strange. So here this is difficult, and of course there are a lot of oddities here in the crotch region, and I cannot solve that very well right now. So let's push this to, let's reset this, rotate, let's push that, rotate more, try another angle of rotation. Okay, this doesn't solve much, but maybe it's better than. Okay, I'm gonna save here, and I'm going to. Now comes the moment, right, folks? If I picked, yeah, let's hide this. First, I'm trying to implement this idea. I cannot copy pose. This is bone by bone. Yeah. Oh, but I can copy the keyframes. All right. Leverage value. So four bones, yes, and the crotch actually, yeah. So I need these channels. Need this. I'm gonna copy this. Let's see. Control C, copy. Let's see now. Turn off all that. Go back now. No, I don't want to save. Okay, just in case it will be saving. So now I go on to the okay, it created an action, fine. So I can go back here. Yes, it is normal that this happens because here I've made this posing. This is a special case, so this is done imagining that the action bond constraints will be stacking with this. Well, currently they are disabled. The only thing that I need here, I guess, is to get this crotch here and bring them here. There is probably a way to solve this that I'm doing in a smart way, but I don't know. So, and here too, let's do that. Okay. So, I think we've recorded those changes. And now I can close that. If that's not the case, so now if I re-enable the actions, we got back where we stopped. Yeah, maybe it's maybe there are some imperfections, but I won't bother with that. Visually it's something more or less good, better than without this. And of course there is yeah, this is what I've made, so just making sure forward, front, side out, back up. Okay, I don't need to be on that action right now. And now for this I need to implement yeah, so here I was using this one, I think. Yes, so I started with that one for random reason. So let's go back here. So this will be front plus side out bending. Yeah, this is already too long. Then the idea, so if I make it stack, we could test out what actions combined do. If I were to enable this local space, right, 1890. Okay, I've reset it because I don't care. I have the action saved. By control rig, oh, it's there. All right, so reset. Let's enable everything. First, let's see if the actions are working properly. We don't need this scene, we already used it for. Okay, so the deform seem to be working, right? Otherwise I'll have, so the actions are being activated properly as it seems. However, as we reach for that pose, we don't have a special action activated. So we probably have the combination of two actions here. As in many poses we'll have the combination, but here it's a bit more critical. So yeah, you can use this to facilitate, or I can use that. So now what I want to see, well, it does look good, even, but it wasn't looking good on the with the actions enabled. Yeah, see what's happened. So it's not looking good. Up to a moment it works, but then there are some. So it indeed, if we intend to exaggerate on the poses, which is cool, bad stuff will happen. So now what does that do? It will take the axis rotation. Alright, so I'm gonna even do the following. I'm gonna duplicate this, and yeah, there'll be a combination. So this is like the X, and there'll be the Z. And so for the X, I'm not gonna enable that. We're gonna copy those two to everything also. So the X is that, and it's all that. All right. While for the Z, let's see. This value, and Z rotation, local space. Okay, already this is set. Then I need to Shift G color and Control C, copy selected, copy this and this, and okay. And now comes the time. They seem to be nothing is happening. It doesn't seem to, something is wrong about this. Rotation time lag before split X rotation local space is the same thing. So why 80 90? Something must be wrong about the these pasted keyframes don't seem to be doing nothing. But they are there. 90. Okay, I've just made this just in case. Let's go back outside of the action here. Now outside of the action, let's get the color. Let's enable. Okay, oh, I know why. Of course, No, that makes no sense, because if the action was being played, it will double it, right? Most, not sure. Let's try again. No, it's like ineffective. Something is really missing about this timing. Let's see. While everything else is active, so there are X rotation of the type. Oh, wrong actions. Of course. Huh. Alright. So, stupid mistake. Yeah, I knew I should have deleted it. Even if I had. Yeah, so Alt. There are six of them. Alright, so now still nothing. 80-90 Z rotation. Here we go. So too many things to read. Yeah. But it seems to be the same thing. Rotation. Okay, so this will be one approach. So okay, so it seems to do something there regarding the X rotation, and the Z maybe is just too small for this pose. I'm not gonna check this now, but probably it's doing something. So here, yes, so they seem to combine, but this can be dangerous. So let's try to go back to this pose and see. There's an easy way to check that. Yes, those are huge modifications, right? So this is a proof, concrete proof, that the interaction between two actions on the same axis is detrimental. Yeah, so this is proof of concept, proof of something hard to, very annoying to realize. So I'm gonna puff problem X Z axis actions. Okay. but at least we have tried. So in principle it looks like we cannot use the same stuff there. This collision would be very bad because it ruins our previous work. So that the same thing that affects this happens to corrective shape keys, and also happens to input oriented armature deform corrective methods. Is all the, in principle, it's all the same thing, the same problem, the excessive analytic, then the diagonal we try to solve, then it brings this. So the other approach would be like to can we delete something? No, I think there's no batch delete here, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna try to okay, one from side out bending. Yeah, this is the diagonal one. We still have the animation for it, so for the stacking correction, but we're going to destroy just these action bone constraints. I have to recall. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think I've already solved, right? No, I deleted. Okay, so I'll start with this one. So the idea here, which I'm not sure how to achieve this, but I'm starting to get the idea. It needs a driver, because drivers allow multiple inputs, and then we can make the expression that can be difficult to solve. But it needs to zero out as the axes they go back to some other condition. So that's why the dot product thing. So that would be we'll do here again, except that now diagonal, whatever. So it sticks out better. So we want this one. We don't want this data here. Oh, I had an idea here. There might be a way to tell Blender. Actually. Yes, folks, there is a way. If I, well, maybe. No. Target. What I imagine if I had diagonal line here, and that will be the track of a bone. As the bone moves towards that direction, it will reach the diagonal here at 100% of its movement. That diagonal, maybe we could, it doesn't matter which axis is that, it would be a, actually it would be a, yes, it will be a local space y-axis. So the bone will travel pointing forwards, like along its y-axis, until it reaches the end. So this is the beginning, this is the end. So it starts as a original location, it ends there. The problem with that is, okay, but these must relate still if that could activate something. It still needs to activate in relation to the thigh. So that means that this bone must reach that point of 100% when only when the thigh bone is rotated somewhere around here. And this is the difficult part. If this can be solved spatially with these calculations, then I don't need the driver. I've tried to figure out how to make analysis of the axis, but it seems to go in the wrong direction, in the opposite of what you want. But some analysis is required. So why am I using this pose, by the way? So one thing that could bring that bone to reach there something maybe as an attractor, that seems to be complicated, or maybe a combination of events of the rotation of the thighs that stacking together will bring it there. So it's like, but this is dangerous, but it could work. So you have it will sum the z-axis plus the x-axis until reach there. So it needs both to reach there, otherwise it won't have strength to reach that maximum position. So, and that will be when that bone reaches there, it will activate that action particularly, which has nothing to do with the other actions. Well, it has, but it might not conflict the way this was conflicting. Anyways, let's try the driver here, and for now, at least I was able to figure out a plausible alternative, but needs a proof of concept. So here also, I've read stuff, some people also try to explain, but it's complicated. No. So here, the idea would get two variables, so x-axis, then let's add another, then we get yeah, I have to be doing this over and over again. Armature, so this is the thigh left, and x rotation quaternion, z rotation quaternion. This doesn't copy paste. Local space doesn't copy paste. Okay, must be sure these things are right. Okay, so this is var z and this is var x. Alright, local space quaternion, z rotation, var z, x rotation quaternion, local space. Alright, var x. Alright, so now comes the condition var x product var z equals 0. No. Okay, what would that produce? They would multiply, and that will cause some disruption. So let's put enter. These are radians, which make things even more complicated. Because they are regions, they will tend to multiply values less than 1 between themselves, and that will generate a small number, even a smaller number, and in regions that will make a very minimum value, close to 0. So for example, 0.4 multiplied by 0.5, that will make half 0.4, so 0.2. Alright, so I have this. I can disable the driver. Let's see what that does. Of course, currently we don't see nothing. Maybe it's not working. Maybe I need an animation to... Oh yeah, first, this is just one bone, so maybe, but it's not moving. Evaluation time. Yeah, time of the action between that and that rate. So this will get 80, 90, and we're going to, oh, but this driver won't be duplicated, so, but we, at least let's see, it needs to be, we need to see this driver working. It doesn't seem to be working. Okay, there be in our way, open drivers here. Maybe if I can control this curve, yeah, controlling the curve can help. But this is not the driver. Again, we lost the... Okay, so let's try... I don't know what's happening here to that foot. No, that's okay. So let's just hide this stuff. Maybe it's 0 because the value of the driver is just too small. Negative 0.002. Yeah, it's very small value. So it is changing, so that's, yeah, there we see. So what we need is perhaps to augment this thing, so maybe multiply that by 1 times 5, I don't know. Because if I give a plain number, that will get always that plain number, so that is bad. So let's try to multiply. So if the value is a bit higher, it might be enough for it to become visible. Or maybe we should do times square or something like that. Exponential. Yeah, it's still very, of course we don't have the I really should put that into an animation. The problem is that I don't want to enter in the other animation. I don't know, that will be too confusing. So let's just make a new one, and so get something like here. Okay, reset poles, then save, reset here, then we go do that, no, do that, then do that, then do that, here, whatever, then here, and here, whatever. That that should work. Let's try to, I don't need to be looking at this bone, let's just look at this and see how the driver I don't know what's going on but doesn't matter. Oh yeah, the bone is getting crazy there, but that is not my problem. Would it be because of this? No, it's something about the posing that I've done that probably the pole target got crazy. Yeah, it's probably the pole target. So let's fix this because it ruins the experience. Yeah, look at where the pole target is. Okay, again, okay, now this is not happening. Let's look at the, yeah, so we can look at here, we see, and here or here, we see that there are small changes, but the interesting part is that, okay, this gets negative because the multiplication, right? Some of the values multiply, and one of them the variable is negative. So what I'm gonna do is that I need to do them square. I think it's like that. So first they'll become positive. Yeah, first they'll become positive. This doesn't seem to be working. It does error, invalid expression. Okay, so okay, how is time? Okay, so let's just multiply it by itself then. So okay, this becomes a very small value, of course. 0 point that might be required to multiply by I don't know, 1.5. then by 2. Okay, now let's do like that, by 2, and then no, it's, oh yeah, I forgot something here. There we go. No, why doesn't it recognize those values? Yeah, this it recognize. I'm missing something here. Maybe this should come later. No, nothing here to help. Okay, let's try just this. Oh, of course, it's not. This is much. This needs to be much more. It's forgot. Yeah, now we talk. So, of course, this is an exaggeration. We get absurd values there. So, 50, 50. If it stays 1 for too long, we already know something is wrong. So it should never even reach 1, and it shouldn't grow very fast on the posing. The problem is that we understand that it is stacking transforms, right? And so it's hard to this multiplication to really know what is the amount of evaluation time that would correspond to the right moment yeah, also one of the axes maybe should never be as big as the other. Here it's not even reaching 1, but we're having this pose, which I don't remember that I've done it. So, mystery. In the end, this will be multiplied by whatever. So I need to track down what is causing all that because I don't remember having evaluation time at here. No, it's not even this one, so something wrong about the but it seems that we are sort of reaching some level of understanding. Maybe it's feasible without too much pain. It looks like they are stacking in a way that I don't remember anything like that before. Maybe if that's after I've made the side bending, or there's something wrong about some axis. Oh, why there's a front bending 0.01 here? There was a knee, no, just these are poles, so it's not something wrong about this pose, and it still is having some. It can't be possible that I've animated that way. Maybe this is already some combination of, no, because the actions, they are not combining. There's something wrong about the front bending on this position. Maybe this is something I didn't assess. Alright, so this is confusing, but I think I can probably save this as Z, okay, AA. Let's go back on Z. I don't remember where did I save. Delete. Go back to the. And the fact that I didn't even test because that thing started to happen. Okay, so the front bending, maybe I deleted one and renamed the wrong one, but what I want to test here is just to delete this for a moment. Okay, turn this on, see if that crazy thing happens. There's no reason for no, that was something that started to happen on that particular file. So I don't bother with that. I need to try to this bone is not posed, so I'm gonna delete this stuff. So I've lost one of the actions, but this is just a matter of copying. This probably wasn't the culprit, but it was a mistake nonetheless. Okay, so all these actions are enabled. Let's check here again. Okay, I don't see nothing, so maybe it was a bug. Never knows. See, this anomaly doesn't happen here in no. Now let's see if we can go back to this, and at this pose this should be much more critical. Of course it is not, because there is this thing, so it doesn't cause nothing. Also, this is not distributed among everything, so this must be improved a little more, I think, before I try to, because then I have to copy paste driver all the time. Let's try to get it good. So can I, maybe I can edit from here, which can be an advantage. Maybe it needs something like that. What is this? Why there are two of them? Evaluation time. What is that? That was the output. But I wanted the variables. Okay, let's get back to that action. But that action might be incorrect. Yeah, I've lost that action, so I'm gonna do that again. So I'm gonna start here already, then move, I don't know, here, and then move there. Then we can check many things from this condition. Go back to the beginning. So what about the driver? So yeah, it doesn't do much there, doesn't move too much, so I don't know what is this. Doesn't seem to affect the it's something about the this is probably something about the rotations, but doesn't make sense to me. Wait, there's a third one. No, it was just a handle. Alright, so let's get back the evaluation time and let's try to exaggerate. Okay, so it doesn't stick out too much, of course, because we need to address the driver here. So this is not enough. So here is too much Z. Here is there are a lot, and let me see if I get it here. What is this? Yeah, this is also not very much, so it's more in here indeed. At this moment we get, well, at this moment I thought there was a lot of but there is none now. Okay, maybe I confused. No, these values are changing. This is crazy. Or I didn't validate. Let's try this. Okay, here is nothing. This is a lot. Yeah, so if the values are like that, not very accurate, this or difficult to track down, is probably because of the rest position. So that means I'd better use some sort of, yeah, I can do that. So maybe I know how to do that. So it will be like adding a bone here, then flip, move there, let me parent here. It has its own orientation aligned to negative y-axis, right? No? Okay, so flip. Okay, align with workspace. Needs parenting again. Flipping destroys the parenting relation, and this will be a custom thing. This will be, I don't think we have custom, yeah, on the driver, but that's okay. I can just change the actually I'm not even sure this will work because it's not exactly this angle that I need. If it's parented to that, it will no, this is not gonna function well. Wait, yes, it will. So I need to rotate x, rotate negative 90x, roll shift N, like that. Cx is pointing forward. Then, since the driver cannot be so follow the rotation, but it starts as if it was a T-pose, so this is like a custom space, but I cannot make custom space from the driver rating, so I'll target it directly. So I could here, but I'm not using that, so it's useless, so it needs to be done. Yeah, target this, wait, why does it have a, no, this target is not valid. Because it's not, it's here this is working from here, so it's just here. Yeah, local space and local space. Okay, so alright, so this is just some change for knowing or checking okay, don't see evaluation time, don't see any change. It's like it's being ignored. It shouldn't be ignored, so the bone is indeed rotating. So why? Maybe I need to update stuff here. No? Update. No. Couldn't be that this caused the yeah, doesn't make sense. I just changed the bone. Maybe it's not being maybe parenting is not enough, so if that's the case, let's get copy rotation, replace, yes. Okay, let's try now. It shouldn't be like that. It's not moving at all. It's like the it's a plain value that is not unchanging. Nothing is changing. So I don't really understand what's going on. So this is overly what is clear is that this approach is overly complicated. I need to find some additional references and investigate what apparently in Cloud Rig there is something like that. So I'll have to investigate that. And my approach here, but I think I'm gonna stop at this moment because this was already time consuming enough. So I think what I'm not even gonna save here. I have this version here. What I'm gonna do is that I will try to attempt to create a mapping for this pose of the type for the okay, this wasn't solved again, so this is annoying. Let's try to just fix that and save, and not forget there's a driver there. So yeah, copy here, copy selected, copy this one, just bring this here. Okay, it's the same, doesn't matter. I'm just gonna think what could be right in that approach of the mapping. If the bone reaches that, it will activate an action. For that bone to reach that, it needs that pose. Sort of, yeah, it needs that pose. Okay, I remember there's a tutorial that worked on that, a Chinese guy that made an analysis. So if I have a bone that is tracking the foot position, could be the thigh, but doesn't matter, yeah, could be the thigh, from y-axis world or locals, yeah, this space here, whatever, yeah, according to the hips, the orientation of the hips. So tracks this position, another bone that tracks this position. Okay, so it's like a graph exactly, and then each of these bones, they try to follow this, and by doing that, I'm not even sure if those bones are necessary, but then by having these bones doing that, another bone will follow their progress analytically from one dimension and from the other dimension, and that will make the bone, like, right, race towards the direction of the thigh, like here. So it's a very simple thing, but actually it's not so simple to figure it out and how it could be applied. It can be applied to make this analysis. So I have, this means that I'll have this angle. I could even create, I'm not sure that would work, but I could even create a z-axis for another third dimension, but it could be relevant because if the thigh is like that, then it shouldn't receive the input that I want. So there'll be an additional condition and might be hard to, and I don't know if it's possible, but at least bidimensionally it should be possible. Then okay, then perhaps I have another bone that will grow vertically, and because the diagonal should be vertical for that bone, but yeah, so if another bone representing the third dimension goes up, it would mean that already the bidimensional graph will have made this diagonal. So the ultimate bone would need to be a combination of those two. I cannot find a way to get it expressed in geometrically in rigging. It should be possible. It's an interesting path, but I need to. It's a very specific thing. So, folks, thanks for watching. I'll think more about this and make some research. Maybe there are. Maybe I was very close to the solution with the driver, but with on the action bone constraint. But and here also maybe I'm very close to another alternative that perhaps no one has used for this particular issue yet. See you next time. We'll be happy blending. Have a nice weekend and take care. I'll see what I can do for this for next time. At least, folks, we were able to complete the more simple things, right? The analytical ones. Right? This already was pretty challenging. Okay, now I have the same problem again. No, this is because the action bone constraints are enabled. So no panic. Anyways, I solved that mistake with backup, so if that happens again, I still can go back. I saved another backup. Anyways, so that's it, folks. See ya. I hope to be on the weekend, but I'm not sure. So usually I'm streaming only on the weekly days, not on weekends. See ya, folks. Hope that was interesting enough. If you have any questions and if you want to chat, feel free. Always, I'm here for also conversation interactions. See ya, folks.